Hello guys, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be playing Minecraft beta. We're going to be starting a new world, but we're also going to be talking about Jesus feeding the 5,000 and how he can take something really small and turn it into something really big, and that what's insufficient in our hands becomes abundant in his. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and start our new world. Our new world here. English. So let's see here. And to be honest with you guys, this is a big shot in the dark for me. I'm just kind of doing this to I don't know why I'm doing it. I feel called to do it, so here we are. But we're gonna go ahead and just get right to it, and those sounds are very loud. That's better. Oh, one more thing I need to do. Yeah. Fix the textures, and I think we should be good now. So we're just going to go ahead and get right to it. I'm going to start punching some trees and doing the old Minecraft thing. You may be wondering why I'm playing beta, and honestly, I don't know. This is a version of Minecraft I started playing on, and, call me a nostalgia junkie, but I don't know. Something about it made me want to come back to it, and I just think it will be a little interesting to kind of go back in time here and, talk about what I want to talk about. But anyways, so the topic for today, like I said, is going to be about how Jesus fed the 5,000. We're going to be going over Mark chapter 6, verse 33 through 44. So it's a really good story about how Jesus can take something really small and turn it into something big. All right, sorry about that. I'm jumping over my words, so I had to cut a little bit out, but we're gonna roll with it. And the sound is already very loud. I love the music, but I want to be able, you guys to be able to hear me talk. Oh, music is separate. Okay. Okay, I think that's a good. That's a good volume. Maybe not. I don't know. We're gonna have to play around with the volume a little bit. And if for some reason the video doesn't come out perfect, you know what? That's okay. I'm not here to be perfect. I'm just here to spread the word. So, anyways, today we're gonna be talking about how Jesus fed the 5,000 and how something that is insufficient in our hands can become abundant in His. So, I want you to picture this, right? You open the fridge, it's really late at night, and you're hungry, you're just starving. So you open the fridge looking for something, and you find half a packet of empty ketchup, maybe a slice of cheese, and some questionable leftovers that, have been in the fridge for a week and a half. And you're like, you know what? It's not enough. I'm not gonna eat it. It's not gonna be enough to feed you, right? We live in a constant state of not enough, I think, and what that means is that, we're constantly saying not enough, or we're thinking we don't have enough. We don't get enough sleep, we don't have enough money, we don't have enough motivation to get things done. Maybe some of us don't have enough confidence. I know I've struggled with that one before. Or maybe even not enough faith. We sit and we scroll on social media, comparing ourselves to people that seem like they have everything, and I'm guilty of it too. So don't think I'm in the clear here. So what do we do when we're surrounded by those types of people that seem like they have everything, and then on top of that, life's just demanding things that we are unable or aren't willing to give? What do we do? Well, Jesus says that we should trust Him with everything, not just what we want or what we can, but all of it. No matter how small, we give Him what we are willing to give, or what we can give. And a lot of times we think, oh, well, that's not enough. And that doesn't matter. Jesus wants it anyways. So, what do you do when the need in front of you is bigger than what you have? And more importantly, what does Jesus do when you bring in what feels insufficient? Like I said, today we're going to be going into the story of Jesus feeding the 5,000, and I love the, like I said, I love the story because it just proves that our what we think is small can become big. Um, so this miracle that we're talking about when Jesus fed the 5,000, it's it was actually recorded in all four gospels, so Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and it's one of the only stories that was recorded 4 times. So that kind of tells you something about how important this story is, right? I want you guys to picture the scene. Jesus and the disciples are exhausted. It's not a long day at work, but they're exhausted and tired. They've been healing people, teaching crowds, answering questions, and pouring themselves out for Jesus' ministry nonstop. And on top of that, Jesus just found out that his cousin, John the Baptist, had been killed. And I don't know about you guys, but if I had spent all this time and effort and energy preaching to these people and performing all these miracles and traveling and doing all this stuff, like I would be ready for a break. So that's what Jesus and the disciples do. They go and they try to take a break. They take a sabbatical and they try to, reset. Um so they get on the lake and they start to set sail. They get in the boat and they set sail, and the people follow them. So the people, they're following them around the lake. There's women, children, curious people, elderly people, you name it. They were following him because they had seen his works and they were curious and they wanted to be healed. So when Jesus saw these people, they got to the shore and immediately he swarmed, right? And Jesus doesn't react with frustration. Like I know I would have. I would have been like, "Really, dude? Like not now. I need to chill out for a little bit." But Jesus doesn't do that because Jesus sees them as sheep without a shepherd, as Mark says. Um, and sheep without a shepherd are vulnerable. They're scattered and scared and lost. And Jesus sees these people and he's like, okay, well, these people need some truth and they need some direction. So Jesus does what he does best and he begins to preach. So before he ever fed their stomachs, he fed their souls. And that's important. I want you guys to remember that. So Jesus begins teaching them, begins giving them a message. The people gathered around and began listening to the sermon. Mark says there were about 5,000 men, which also does not include the upwards of 10 to 15,000 people that women and children that were also included in that were not included in that count. Sorry, I probably just butchered that, but essentially what I'm saying is in the Bible it says that there were 5,000 men, so obviously that doesn't include women and children, which if you do the math on that probably puts it somewhere around 15 to 10 to 15,000. That's a lot of people. So as Jesus continues teaching, hours pass, the sun begins to sink, stomachs start to growl, and people, even though they're focused on Jesus' message, they begin to get restless and hungry. And they start the disciples start kind of freaking out. They're like, oh, like these people need some food and we don't have anything. They're over here taking inventory and they're like, I don't think we're gonna be able to feed all these people. And the disciples are just being reasonable. They're not trying to like intentionally discount Jesus, but what they did without realizing it is they relied on what they thought they had instead of who they had right in front of them. So the disciples asked Jesus, like, hey Jesus, what are we gonna do? And Jesus just flips the script with one simple question. He goes, you give them something to eat. or sorry, that's not a question, but a statement. He says, "You give them something to eat." And I'm sure if we were there, we could probably hear the panic around, the disciples and everything. Um, and they start scrambling, doing all the math, and they're like, "Man, we don't even have like enough to like 8 months' wages wouldn't even cover the amount of food we have to buy for all these people." By the way, I think I'm gonna make my base. Oh, ooh, that's cool. I'm gonna make it up there. We're gonna climb up there and make our base there. Um, so yeah, like I said, the disciples, they're looking at they looked at what they have, or sorry, they looked at what they don't have instead of who they do have sitting right in front of them. Their scarcity thinking takes over. They think the need is too small, or sorry, the need is too big. We're too small. We don't have enough. And in their minds, they disqualify themselves. Oh, I forgot. I can't sprint in this version, and it's getting dark. But luckily, I have stuff to make a bed. So I think, okay, you know what? Okay. I keep forgetting that this is like beta and I can't sprint. It's a little frustrating. We're just gonna carve out a little base here in this little cove. We're gonna go ahead and make ourselves a bed. Oh, wait. Okay, yeah, I need the wool. Duh. Oh, okay. Anyways, so, the disciples' minds just get the better of them, right? They think their need is too big, what they have is too small, we don't have enough, and they disqualify themselves. So when they tell Jesus this, like Jesus doesn't argue, he doesn't lecture, he just asks a simple question. He asks, "What do you have?" And they search for an answer. They search the crowd, trying to find rations. And they come back with 5 loaves and 2 fish, a lunch that probably belonged to a kid. Definitely not enough to feed over 5,000 people by any means. It's just a laughable amount, right? But I want you guys to remember this too. It's like Jesus doesn't laugh at surrendered obedience. Jesus doesn't laugh at surrendered obedience. He says, "Bring it to me." So Jesus takes the bread into his hands. He looks up to heaven. He blesses it, and he breaks it. And the bread multiplies. And so the cool thing here, though, is that instead of, passing it by himself, he passes it to the disciples. Okay, you know what? Hold on. Let's. I need to get rid of these zombies because that's all I can hear. I don't know where they're at though. Oh man, it's gonna bother me. I feel like I can't focus on what I'm trying to say with them in my eardrum. Are they up above, maybe? Where are these zombies at? We're gonna just kind of tunnel up here and see if we can find these dudes. Oh, here, there's some coal there too. I'll come back for that. But the cool thing there is that Jesus gave the bread back to the disciples, or the bread and the fish. He gave it back to the disciples instead of passing it himself. So by doing this, Jesus is using the disciples who before were ready to give up and send everybody packing. Now they have an absolute abundance. So the same disciples who said not enough are now walking food into the crowd. So what was insufficient in their hands became abundant in his. Okay, where are you at, zombie? So Jesus didn't wait for them to have more. He didn't. He just trusted them with what? Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! No, back off. Oh, okay. Okay, sorry guys. I'm not used to focusing on talking and playing the game, so I'm just trying to get used to that. Oh man, they have like a really big blast radius in this version. But anyways, what was insufficient in the disciples' hands became abundant in Jesus's. So, long story short, everyone's filled. The food keeps coming and coming and coming. everyone eats, and they don't just have a snack or just a light meal. They're feasting, like they're full. Okay, this zombie's gonna drive me insane. I'm gonna just move my bed because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find. Oh gosh, this is taking forever to break. Um, I don't know if I'll be able to find that zombie because I think he's in a hole over there somewhere. You know what? We'll go look for him real quick. He's got to be close, right? um. Oh yeah, there he is. Hey, buddy. Okay, I know there's more of you in here. Can't hardly see anything. It's so dark. Hey, buddy. Come here. Okay. Now I think I can hear myself think. Where were we? Okay, so long story short, everyone's filled and the food keeps coming and coming and coming, and everyone eats like a feast, like they're full to the brim. So what was not enough became abundant. The kids, the parents, the sick, the elderly, no one was left out, no one was forgotten. And when it's over, Jesus tells the disciples to gather what remains. And the disciples end up gathering like 12 baskets, which is enough for each disciple. So definitely more leftovers than they started with, and more than they ever thought they would ever get. And now they have leftovers. So, it just proves that Jesus doesn't just meet our needs; he overwhelms scarcity with overflow. So, what I'm trying to tell you guys here is that Jesus didn't wait for them to have more. He waited for them to trust him with what they already had. Jesus didn't ask, "What don't you have?" He asked, "What do you have?" And tonight, maybe whatever time of the day it is for you, maybe Jesus is asking us the same question. Maybe he's asking you the same question. What do you have? Not what you wish you had, not what you'll have someday, what you have right now. Maybe it's your time. You're just thinking, I'm too busy. I got homework that week. Like I got homework, or my buddy asked me to hang out. Like I'm gonna be gone all week, and like I don't have time. I don't have time, Lord. Jesus says, give it to me. Maybe it's your possessions. Maybe it's that cool new console you got that you spent all your time on. You say, Lord, but that's mine. Jesus says, give it to me. Maybe it's your gifts. Maybe you're really good at something. Maybe you're really good at playing the guitar, and you're just like, you know what? I like playing what I want to play, Lord. I don't want to play what you want me to play. Jesus says, give it to me. Maybe it's your faith, even if it feels small or you feel like it's not even there. Jesus says, give it to me. You see, we can hold on to it, or we can place it in his hands. Because when we keep it, it stays small. But when you surrender it, Jesus multiplies it. But here's the thing. Trust also includes obedience. It's not just a feeling. You have to take action and actually obey him. It's great that you believe God will provide, but are you actually obeying him? Are you actually taking that step? You might be thinking, well, if I trust God more, maybe things will work out. But it takes trust and obedience, not just believing. The disciples didn't just believe Jesus could do something, they obeyed. They handed over the food, they organized the crowd, they walked the bread and the fish out row by row. Their trust moved their feet. God has always been in the business of turning scarcity into abundance. When the Israelites were wandering in the desert with nothing to eat, God provided manna from heaven. When they had no water, he made it flow from a rock. Over and over again, where there was lack, God supplied more than enough. And the greatest example of this is us. We had a scarcity, or scratch that, we had a lack of righteousness. We could not fix our sin. We couldn't make ourselves right with God. So God provided. He sent his son, Jesus, to die on the cross for our sins. And so that through Jesus, our scarcity of righteousness can become an abundance of righteousness. What we could never produce on our own, God gave us freely. So what does obedience look like for you this week? It might mean forgiving someone when it's hard. It might mean stepping out to share your faith. It might mean giving your time, your attention, or your resources when you'd rather just hold on to them. It might mean saying no to sin, even though everybody else is doing it. Everybody else is saying yes. Maybe you need to say no. Trust isn't passive, guys. It's active. It's placing what you have in his hands and then following through when he tells you what to do next. So I'm gonna give you guys a challenge for this week. So don't wait until you're ready. Don't wait until you feel confident. Don't wait until you have more. Give Jesus what you have. Trust him with all of it. And watch what happens when what was insufficient in your hands becomes abundant in his. Alright guys, first off, I just want to say thank you for watching the video and sticking around. It means a lot to me, and if you like the video, just give it a like, maybe sub to the channel if you're feeling up for it. I plan to do more of these types of videos, and we're just going to kind of progress as we go. Oh geez, yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of creeper holes to fix here. Sorry we didn't get too far in progress as far as, you know, Minecraft goes. I mean, it is kind of something that's just going on in the background, but you know, I do know you guys also clicked on this video to watch some Minecraft gameplay, maybe. So next time we'll definitely get a little further. I definitely want to flesh out this this little hidey hole we have here, this little base. I think this little valley can be like a good starting area that we can kind of work on. Okay, yeah, you know what? But anyways, yeah, thank you guys for watching, and tune in next time.